Speak Up Africa for Salon, and also Sister Wani Kumba Lahai, and the Principal Public Health Sister at the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. And I come to you, James Wallen. Um, you talked about you working in different parts of Africa. When you look at the strides made by other countries to that of Sierra Leone, how best is Sierra Leone doing, or how was Sierra Leone doing in terms of malaria control?
I'm not sure I will be able to answer that 100% accurately. What I do know is that Sierra Leone has made a lot of progress in the last 20 years, and even since 2010. I think there's been a reduction of about 20% in the mortality rate since 2010, which is really a huge achievement. Across Africa, the rate of malaria it's been stable roughly for a few years. There hasn't been a huge amount of progress. In some countries, the rate has gone up. In some, it has gone down. So it's difficult to speak in generalizations. It's an uneven distribution. And actually, one of the reasons why this campaign was launched across Africa was because progress had begun to slow. So around 2015, 2016, 2017, really there was virtually no progress made against malaria in that time, and we recognized, and I think everyone recognized, that a new level of commitment, a new movement, a new campaign was necessary to bring people back on board, to ensure that the necessary political commitments were made, which happened. So just to put this in context, the campaign Zero Malaria Starts With Me was actually launched in Senegal between 2014 and 2017. For 3 years it was just a national campaign in Senegal. And in 2018, the RBM Partnership to End Malaria and the African Union Commission brought the campaign to the African Union Summit in July of 2018. And at that summit, all 55 heads of state of the African Union signed up to the campaign. They endorsed it. And this, subsequent to that, so since 2018, more and more countries have started to launch their national campaign. So we now have 12 countries across Africa who have launched the campaign nationally, from Senegal in the west to Mozambique and Zambia and Ethiopia in the east and south. We have Francophone countries, Portuguese and English countries, and I think everyone has realized the necessity of really making a stand and recommitting to the goal of making progress against malaria and ultimately to eradicating it, because progress against the disease has been slow recently, and we know that in order to make those advances, we need all members of society, from the president to just the mother of a family who's taking care of her children, to declare Zero Malaria Starts With Me, and do whatever they can, whatever is in their power to contribute towards this goal.
Describing your activities or your success on the African continent, how far do you think you've gone with achieving the Zero Malaria campaign by 2030?
I think we're just beginning. The campaign was launched as a Pan-African campaign only in 2018, and so it takes time, right? Our whole approach and the whole idea of the campaign is that everyone needs to be involved, and in order for everyone to be involved, that takes a lot of time, right? It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of money, I don't think anyone's pretending that we're almost there, and we all acknowledge, everybody knows that actually the goal of eliminating malaria by 2030 is extremely ambitious. It's an ambitious goal, and that's the whole point of the movement, is to mobilize the human and financial resources necessary to do this. But for me, this is just the beginning. 2020 is the beginning of the decade of malaria elimination. We're not almost there, but we know it's possible if everyone joins us. Yeah.
Okay. Name na James Wallen, Malaria Program Officer, Speak Up Africa, and the program na Well Body Talk. You say if we listen, go to again, we'll open the phone line. We will be part of the program. We say go call and ask any question as we get the expert then inside the studio. And come to Aminata Khan, in the focal person for Speak Up Africa for Saloon. So how long have you been operating in Sierra Leone?
You mean Speak Up Africa?
Yes, Speak Up Africa, yes.
Speak Up Africa, as James has just shared with us, it has been very recent, around the end of 2019. Yeah, so very recently.
Okay, 2019 is recent. What are some of the activities that you've done since you started in Australia?
Yeah, so the establishment of the partnerships with the NMCP, with other organizations, because we do believe that it's by collaborating and partnering with other stakeholders in the field and by joining the efforts that the eradication of malaria is going to become a reality. So that's the first basis, and also trying to plan with the NMCP and other actors on the activities of the campaign, so as all the stakeholders will be able to participate in those future activities.
The campaign you rightly mentioned, you talked about partnership earlier, and you've spoken again about partnership, but it is important to reach out to the grassroots people. Yeah. What are your program designed in this direction to reach out to the ordinary people down there?
So those ordinary people are the ones we target, because we would like them to understand exactly what malaria is, the same level as what Sister Wani has explained. What is malaria, what are the symptoms, and what is the incidence? What is the impact it has? So yes, the grassroots, including heads of families, including members of families and of communities. So those grassroots are the most important people, because they're the ones we would like malaria not to embark anymore. So the partnerships are going to help each partner in their own field of action or district representation be able to reach out to those people, to the communities, and help those members of communities be equipped enough, understand malaria enough, and be able maybe to remove those areas where mosquitoes dwell, and be able to understand malaria from how you contract it from the mosquito to how to treat the people when they get the simple one.
Talking about reaching the ordinary people, they usually say Freetown, not to Sierra Leone. Do you have any plan to go to the up countries with your programs to extend to the people down there?
Yes, we do. As James has shared, last week we had the launching of the Malaria Media Coalition in Freetown, and we had all health reporters from the various districts of Sierra Leone represented here. So, and also what they're gonna do is back to their districts, they're going to report cases of malaria, human interest stories, and help people understand more about malaria, and also with their own authorities try to advocate for those people to represent malaria even better. But also we are planning to go at district level, because we have 3 focus districts, which are Moyamba, Kono, and Kambia. So we are going to have a very present action at those 3 districts, and that's going to be continuous.
Okay, inimna Aminata Khan in the focal person for Speak Up Africa inside Salonia. I come to Sister Wani Kumbalahai, Principal Public Health, Sister at the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. And we can see the Ministry of Health and then partner them can distribute tents. And the activity of distributing tents don't start. You can tell people more about this.
Thank you very much. Well, first of all, the ministry is always committed for make sure say well bodied in the country, and as a malaria program, we want to make sure say more like malaria way there we plant them for make sure say we distribute the bed net, that treated mosquito net, to every Sierra Leonean so that they go sleep inside the bed net. Where we explain this, no say the mosquito will bet you now they get the malaria. So for the distribution of the bed net, we get two folds. First, we get routine distribution of the bed net, and the bed net where mosquito go pana, the mosquito they die, then the person will get malaria. So the routine distribution will get until we vulnerable groups they will call the belly woman that I mentioned earlier on, which we pick it already under one. The belly woman and they get her routinely when they get to belly, when they go there the first ANC visit. Then we can encourage belly woman as soon as you get belly, go to hospital. All government health facility that we get, even with some of we NGO partners the way they work with we make sure say then distribute them free to all belly woman, because we encourage them for sleep inside, because belly woman will get malaria, it's not good. In the ambog the pikin inside in belly, make the pikin not get the short in blood, the pikin they die. You say we get sickness, we go triangle per you, we no one die one day. So they make we encourage all belly woman as soon as you get belly, go na the well body clinic where they near you, so that you will give you the free bed net a day in abundance. That are the routine. Then you know tap the back again, the picking them back what I mentioned earlier on. Then say they get the free bed net. When they go for then the distributor and do when they get them vaccine, when they go for the marklet. So when they get them third marklet, then they give them the free bed nets. Now all the government health facilities then back, there will some of the NGO partners they would work with at the clinic them. Then after for the routine. Then because the lifespan of the bed net now 3 years, right? So we get the routine, we get the mass distribution we can do every 3 years. When I remember I said 2017 we don't distribute bed net at the one whole country, all man get the bed net, 2 persons to 1 bed net. So and the lifespan of the bed net for that in 2020. So we don't plan since a year ago. We dey plan for get this bed net here so we distribute the bed net this year back again come April to May at the country, so that everybody will get the bed net. Every household they get the bed net.
How much bed net we talk about?
We are talking about 4.6 million bed net then, because we calculate them from the census population we get project time from the growth rate for meet up the population, so that every 2 person goes to get 1 bed net.
So what are the process that we involve?
Well, there are so many processes involved, because first of all you get for plan, because if you not plan well, you plan for fail. So we plan first forget how to get the bed net, because we as a government we work with 2 partners like we Speak Up Africa there. But the bed net for this campaign now global fund that they help for buyer and the President Malaria Initiative who can call PMI, then they buy the 4.6 million net, the 2 supporting agency then, global fund and PMI. Then for operational cost back again, then the support for not only for buy the net, because not the nets in our other country they come out, it can our Turkey, then it go now the district, then even to the last mile also they go for ship the bed net. So but we get to planning committee at national level, because with the plan we work with partners then, all the partners then they we get the national task force, we are in with the plan how to go about the technical task force. Then apart from the national task force, we get subcommittees there who they work with. We get the logistics committee where they in charge of the bed net. We make sure say when the bed net can waiting for do how for distribute and logistics, and the planning committee or the transportation. Then we get back again the communication, who's are there, the subcommittee with the plan with the partners there, how for make people know say the campaign they can they utilize not only for receive the bed net, but thereafter how for sleep inside continuously for not get malaria. So the communication subcommittee there for that, for make sure say they plan well. They not tap there. We got the training committee and the M&E. The training we go for training the health workers there with the community people for make sure say the train people how for distribute, because we get a strategy. No just shape so no more. Because people for know the strategy how for we get the bed net and how for utilize them.
Okay.
So we get that one day. Then after we don't get we go for do back again impact study, right? We go for do MIS for sure say we distribute the bed net almost retain na the community back next year, so that we make sure say everything they in place. So these are some of the strategies then we work with 2 partners then, and we work with the community people then, because when the bed net can now then careful make sure say the bed net is well secured. Then they provide security inside the bed net for them. And I'm happy for say some of the bed nets, about 50% of the bed net don't come in country right now. They don't come at the districts there. Now some don't left from now for camp for meet up the April May for distribute the bed net. So many things are going on. Meetings are going on. Processes of micro planning is going on. They don't count the data. We can't go do training. We don't even the materials they for this to the people. We don't produce her. We don't pre-test her. So
Okay.
they can't do all.
So I come to you back, make you give more details to people for sake of this mosquito net also and the malaria sickness in general. If you just join with the program now, well body talk, where they come to you from 98.1 FM, and maybe they bring this edition of the program Musa is come on my name. And at them now make you open the phone line on 0779819881. 0779819881 are the number for call and make a contribution inside the program Well Body Talk. You can ask any question we want ask the studio guests them as we get the experts them with me inside the studio. 0779819881 are the number for call and make a contribution inside the program. The program now Well Body Talk. And as we wait for the phone call them, make a come to James Wallen again. You're talking about ending malaria by 2030, and the organization is working with other nations, partners. Somebody would like to know what kind of support do you give? Do you give money, or do you give mosquito net, or do you give what?
Yeah, it's a very good point. So we're an advocacy and communications organization. We are not working in every country where this campaign is being launched. As I say, this is a Pan-African campaign. There are so many different partners involved. This isn't a Speak Up Africa campaign. This is really Pan-African. It's really the local partners in each country which own the campaign and implement the campaign. We are primarily working in Sierra Leone and in Ghana. On this campaign specifically with the National Malaria Control Programs. And the support that we give is specifically around advocacy and communications. So we're not involved at all in, as Wani was talking about just a minute ago, the bed net distribution.
Yes.
That's something that the National Malaria Control Program organize with other partners, so the PMI and the Global Fund as the donors. We have quite a narrow area of expertise, which is around advocacy and communications, and that's really about building political will. So having the president and parliament kind of behind the campaign and ensuring that there's adequate national funding for malaria interventions. It's also about working with the private sector to ensure that the private sector are also contributing to malaria control and prevention efforts, working with civil society organizations and other key stakeholders. So that's really where our area of expertise is. We don't provide any funding as such. We've received a grant from Comic Relief and GSK, and they are financing some of the activities and the engagements that we want to have over the course of this year. But yeah, we're not actually paying for any, medical supplies or mosquito nets or drugs or anything of that sort. We're very much more about building the profile of the disease as a whole and generating the support, the commitment, the dedication necessary to make serious progress in the right direction.
Okay, 0779819881 a number for call and make a contribution inside the program Well Body Talk, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. And inside today's edition of the program, we talk about malaria sickness. You can call and ask any question as we get the expert then our studio now. I come to Sister Wani Kumbalahai, and the Principal Public Health of Sister and the Minister of Health and Sanitation. You talk about the distribution of the net, but most time we can get we get a call on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Where you call from?
Yes, I call from the University of District.
Okay, what's in a contribution inside the program?
Yes, our question I get for organization day because you can see some people want to community health work at the CSW there. And second, give them malaria for eradicate the malaria in the community. But sometimes they get challenged to then drop their awake when the students, the medicine don't final day. I want to know how this organization will, which kind of program then get put and design so that every stage of the year get the medicine and get there on time to help eradicate malaria in the community.
Okay, thank you very much. 0779819881 and the number for call and make a contribution inside the program. The program now will body talk. As this organization they rightly mentioned, then work na advocacy. They need to give money or give medicine. That now the work of the Minister of Health and Sanitation. But thank God we get the principal public health sister na the studio now. We go answer that question day. 0779819881 and the number for call and make a contribution inside the program will body talk. Earlier you talk about mosquito net distribution, but we can get challenged sometimes where people they use them for other purpose we una no give them for. I wanna the monitor now they wanna the distribute for ensure see that they not happen.
Well, this now one of the challenges there. Name could work with partners there, with the community people, because that then they misuse the bed net. So we even don't conduct an advocacy and sensitization meeting with all the paramount chiefs there.
Okay, we get a call on the line. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Where call from?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes. What's in the contribution inside the program?
I dey call for President. My own contribution, I want because more, but I want go on this rampant sickness really threatening the entire world. So I just want to inform owner for say this thing then begin spread rapidly. So I want to apologize to owner at the big for the owner not joke with me with life. Because we will not get Ebola, we get it life of the people of Sarajevo. Because we get youth when they go to viral, for say people that don't come when them when they not quarantine them, but even a quarantine them just careless and so them all man inside the home, what else they go to the go out there. If not that, they give us problem for me. Do with their advice. Let them tie to everybody as they have to me, then get with the answer to come and this one to me. We these people of Sarajevo retire.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. 0779819881 and number for call and make your contribution inside the program. The program now Well Body Talk, where they come to you from the Society for Real Democracy 98.1 FM. You been the make a statement for the net the moon they distribute.
Yeah, for the past 2 years, we don't all meetings with paramount chiefs there for more than formulate bylaws that the communities there for promote the use of the bed net. So I can tell you, say for free, all the communities there, who are paramount chiefs, they get bylaws their way, then they promote the use of the bed net. So NEMEC will continue back again to activities there for the communication and advocacy. We go for another meeting with them back again this year for make sure say this bed net they can distribute. May them strengthen and step up the bylaws there so that people are not going to misuse the net because
okay. We'll get a call on the line quickly. Hello, good afternoon. Where call from?
Hello, I am call from the Western Rural.
Okay, what's in the contribution?
Yeah, well, when actually the registration they start for the bed net distribution, the outsource registration.
Very much for your question on the program. We get Sister Kumbawani at the program. 0779819881 a number for call and make your contribution inside the program. The program now Well Body Talk. Yes, we've been the
respond to that man. Let no one tell.
Okay.
So because the strategy for the distribution, we get for do ASO registration for. So the ASO registration, you get for start from the 4th to the 12th of April this year. So make sure say you then I host so that when you go then I host the members, the team members, then go can I host they register you, then they go give you ticket or call and voucher, and that voucher they get for use, you get for keep her for almost 1 month. Then in May 2022 to May 28th, they go for distribute the bed net, and for that voucher they then go tell you who for go take the bed net because in the state you know go then a monitor you want go take bed na lumbly you know correct. So then I host April 4 to April 12. Then we can register you, then give you that ticket there. Then you keep that ticket there till May 22. Then you go collect your bed net at the center where they go show you.
Okay. One be asked about malaria medicine them we don't know adequate na center them.
No, I want to tell you, say the medicine they adequate. You see, we get like we will not limit we treatment at the health facility no more. We reach out to the community because we know say inside the community then people and they sick too much back again. So we go with community health workers, the way they work with health facilities, staff them. And any medicine we send at the health facility, 30% of and they go to the community health worker. And if you make sure so when they give you the medicine, if you can report back the number of the medicine when they give you the total with the sickness there. So that ongoing because every 3 months then they supply the medicine there and they don't start for if you supply the medicine then at the country for make sure say the medicine adequate for everybody because we know say the sickness dey and malaria medicine e dey boku and but before they give the medicine we dey give them the test kit the rapid diagnostic test kit if for test first for prove say na malaria get so they even the community health worker you get the RDT wey for test and the medicine so the medicine don begin supply back again every 3 months but we can make allowance back again if the medicine don before tell they get a buffer where they can give them they can make emergency request to the health facility and the district medical store where they go supply the medicine.
Okay, quick one before I come to the other guests. Then maybe they talk about the modalities and Mona don't put in place for ensure that them masks and heads here so on they distribute. They don't use them for other purpose.
Oh yes, because I said I may talk about the paramount chief then where they don't formulate bylaws there. Then we they put back again. We don't put. We they work. We get a committee, a subcommittee. Now we even now free time so where we get the law enforcers there, we get the traders, market women, we all in there for make sure say we get all meetings there. Anybody where them misuse the bed nets, they can go arrest them. Although we no say other bed nets then they both sabi on bed nets then where then they misuse. So we get a committee, then we get bylaws there in place now. All the 149 chiefdoms, but now 190 chiefdoms them where then they promote and make sure say anybody misuse the bed net, they go deal according to how the bylaws then formulate and the communities there. Then as I been say back again, even the bed net way can the community people and they get for take care of the stores then and make sure say when the bed net can, then they monitor the process. They are part of the process. They are from the beginning to the implementation and the follow up. So that people then go make sure say they not misuse the bed net. And then they even do sensitization back.
Okay, from here they come to Aminata. Can the focal point person for Speak Up Africa against malaria? Am I correct? You've been working in Sierra Leone, you said since 2019. Going further, what are your plans to ensure that you penetrate to the rural areas and down to the grassroots people to achieve the aim to ending malaria by 2030?
Thank you so much. So as soon as March, we are going to visit the 3 districts that I have mentioned, Kono, Moyamba, and Kambia. And we are going to meet the community members and build a relationship with them, and that relationship is going to continue till the end of 2020. And what we're trying to do is to equip them with what it takes for all the members of the community to understand malaria, but also be able to end it by 2030, because for it to be possible, all the members of the community and all the people in the country need to have the same understanding of what malaria is, how to prevent it, and also how to treat cases that arise, for it not to become those complicated cases that can represent challenges for the population.
Okay, to you, James Wallen, Malaria Program Officer, Speak Up Africa. You talk about your job is advocacy. What's the cooperation between the organization and the various governments you're working with?
Yeah, so one of our maybe the most important partner in any effort to deal with public health issue is the government. And as part of that, the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health is always the expert on the local context, also the national needs and priorities. So one thing I should note about the Zero Malaria Starts With Me campaign is that it is adapted, it changes in each country in which we work and in which the campaign is happening. Because in each country the context is different, the challenges might be different, the needs and priorities might be different. So our first priority is always to meet with the Ministry of Health, and in this case the National Malaria Control Program, to understand that context, and so that we can align any activities that we support with the priorities of the government services.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I come to Sister Wani Kumba Lahai. We did round up the program now for people with the ask about the mosquito net and the malaria sickness. When did they get the net here finally? When the distribution the end?
The distribution, the mass distribution, because we still go for continue the routine distribution. So the mass distribution go end the 30th of May this year. It will start from the 22nd to the 28th, but we can give small allowance for mop-up to the 30th. So the mass campaign distribution is done the 30th May. Then we will still continue with the routine distribution for we belle woman there and we picking away there under 1 year, because we still want to make sure. I don't mean say if belle woman go, you get bed net, way mass campaign, can you get to that, then I compliment it go get and still, so that at least the more the merrier. So that we want to make sure, say, we talk about universal coverage and we talk about universal health coverage. So we want to make sure, say, everybody do on board, everybody gets the bed net, you sleep inside the bed net. So that we tap malaria and salon.
Mosquito are the number one agent, one of the agents for mosquito, for malaria. Apart from the bed net, we want to give, how person could prevent this sickness apart from the bed nets or the mosquito them in the community there?
Oh, okay, for prevention, okay, for use bed net now, one form of prevention, no more. We get back when they use the medicine there for belle woman there, and we picking away down that one. We call her sulfadoxine perimeter. We call her SP na big name. We can give them back when they go to clinic. They could give them treated when they go to the clinic for make them not get, for prevent them and not get malaria, both the belle woman and the picky. Then in addition to that again, we do indoor residual spraying instead of now prevention, okay, right, for control the vector.
Okay.
But not all side. Depend how the environment there, then they can do that IRS, right?
Okay. So thank you very much for coming to the program. I'm going to invite you some other days for can talk about malaria as in one of the sickness them we don't dey around people them for long term, and we are bug people in health na saloon. Now this edition of the program Well Body Talk the Leffy for today. And me bring you this edition of the program. Musa is coming. I'm in plenty. Thank you to my studio guest them, James Wallen, Malaria Program Officer, Speak Up Africa, and Aminata Khan, Focal Point, Speak Up Africa for Salon, and we get Sister Wani Kumba Lahai, Principal Public Health Sister. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Okay, plenty thank you to Moses Kavura. We make una see we live na Facebook, and self DJ Cliff we give you technical support. So till next week, Musa is kama they say bye bye.
No, this one is a special dedication to all the people of this nation. Real, all the